What's up, guys? My name is Yanez.
Will, what's up?
This is a new episode of Southwestern. We do, Southwestern also does homeowner policies and private auto, but our specialty is trucking, as many of you guys may know. And we're gonna get into a lot of topics today, a lot of topics that are super useful for truck drivers. Will, you wanna kick us off?
So one of the things that we were talking even prior to preparing for the podcast is pretty much like one of the main questions that we have is, I have to renew my insurance, right? Is my insurance gonna go down?
Yeah, we get that a lot.
You get that a lot. A lot of people say, hey, yeah, I had no claim, everything was clean. Why am I being quoted the same amount as last year? Or why is my insurance going up? There's a lot of factors in play. That's every time I speak to my clients specifically, or when I'm training new guys that are coming along, I teach them to kind of educate the client on the things that might cause a spike in your insurance. Ian is more of an expert than me because he's been in the game way longer than I am.
Yes.
But what's one of the things that you see?
So I used to be an underwriter for QEO, which writes on clear blue paper. That's a lot of dump trucks. And I also used to be underwriter / broker for First Light program managers. And one of the things that they taught me, or the key indicating factors that we wanted to analyze on a renewal, was the safety scores, right? So the safety scores is like huge. We analyzed the safety scores not on a broad spectrum, like, oh, this guy has a lot of alerts, we're gonna raise his price. But we're gonna look at it as a quarterly and a periodically transformation of this guy's safety. So if you've shown over the last 3-4 months that, okay, you have some alerts, but your last inspection was pretty good, they're gonna take that into consideration.
Okay.
Let's say, you're trending downwards. If you're trending downwards, then yeah, you're probably gonna get a hike, right? But another good thing.
What do you mean when trending? They probably won't understand what trending down is.
So trending down is like every time you get pulled over, you have another violation. You have another violation. Instead of having less violations, you have more, right? If the last time you got pulled over, you had a violation for tires, and then a month later you have violations for tires again, that means that they didn't do anything about it.
It shows that you don't care about your company.
Yeah.
Shows that you don't care about the road
or people's lives.
People's lives, yeah.
Yeah, because tires is like a big thing. Also, brakes is a huge thing. They always check the brakes. Lights that are working, indicator lights, like that's a huge thing that causes accidents. So the things that they look for are like things that cause accidents, and we have to be aware and understand that, yes, insurance companies do want to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they do analyze a risk based on how likely it is that you're going to get into an accident, right? And a lot of people are like, the insurance companies make too much money. Like, not in this industry. No.
They lose a lot of money too, and that's a misconception. Like Mojave, for example, is a great example of a company years ago that people probably know about, that I always tell clients, like, based on what I heard, they made like $600 million.
Yeah, I don't know. They made a lot of money.
Yeah, but they lost $1 billion. So it was like they got $1 billion in claims.
It's because they were rated too cheap.
They were rated too cheap.
1 year CDL experience.
Yeah, that was every trucker's favorite company.
Yeah,
why?
wow.
Because they got like $250,000 in cargo, auto liability for $1 million. Physical damage of $100,000, and everything was like $12,000.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a measure on how to provide the right coverage to the client, but also make sure that the company doesn't go out of business. And that's kind of like our job. We're agents, but we're also underwriters, and we analyze that stuff. We analyze everything in terms of like what can cause an accident. And if you do not take care of your tires, it's like the basic thing. There's a possibility that your rates are gonna go up next year because you already got like 4 violations. Okay, you didn't have an accident, we get it, but there's a huge possibility that you are to be the next accident. That's how they read it. And that's how I've noticed that a lot of the underwriters, when we talk to them, they're like, what are they doing about these violations? That's a normal question.
Because they have to note the file, right? They have to have a response, because those insurance companies, what tends to happen is that they have reinsurance companies that come and audit their files and be like, all right, so show me your clientele. Who are the people that you're insuring?
Yeah.
And then they're going to pull up every single file, like, oh, look at this guy. This guy has a bunch of violations. What did you do as an underwriter to prevent this guy from, being priced out too cheap, right? Because they have to be, again, profitable. And you know what's crazy, Will? Like, you're talking about this, and like, this is something that my dad's been saying for many years, and it makes sense. And it's not just about renewals, but like, why is truck insurance so expensive? And I know the answer, and again, this is something that's been discussed, is because there's so many people not reporting trucks, right? So that's like very basic, because the way that the underwriters work is that they come up with all these formulas and debits and credits and loss history and loss ratio, and that's how they come out with a price.
Right.
But the thing is, a big portion of loss history and loss ratio is frequency. And a lot of these formulas are based on truck drivers telling the truth, right? And if they don't tell the truth and they have 5 trucks running and they're only paying for 2, well, then in those formulas that they're trying to predict what the prices should be, it's off.
Because you don't have the right amount of trucks right from the beginning.
Exactly. That's why truck insurance is expensive, period, right? And everybody tries to play that game. Industry itself would have to change completely.
Yeah.
Which it is. I think it's gonna change pretty soon, because of Trucker Cloud. So.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be huge. But the crazy thing that I've noticed is that there's a lot of companies out there. They literally have 2 trucks on the policy. They have 3 other trucks running, and then we'll get a claim for the truck that's not on the policy.
Yeah.
And we're like, yo, where was this truck this whole entire time? You've been insured for 9 months.
Yeah.
A lot of bad actors, I would call them that, are causing people, trucking companies that are doing the right thing to have to pay more. And that's messed up. And we're seeing that a lot. So this morning we talked about this client that I'm working on that he's been in business for 15 years. He has about 36 points in violations, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, we got an amazing rate for you. 4 trucks, $1 million, 100,000 in cargo with the GL. He wanted no physical damage, which is what covers your truck per se, right? For $53,000.
That's a good price.
Mind you, he had 2 claims. Claim was like for $20,000, and the other one was like $7,000. But on top of that, he had a bunch of violations. So I got him a great price, $53,000 with Nirvana, but they require you to connect to the ELD. Yeah. This guy's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? This is a great price. He's like, nope, I'm good. I'd rather pay. Yeah. And I'm like, well, the next quote that I have is about $20,000 more. And the guy is like, send me that one.
Yeah.
And in my head,
why do you want to pay more? It's because obviously he's got something to hide, right?
Yeah, but sometimes I would rather walk away from a situation like that, because at the end of the day, as an agent, I have to. Yes, we want to write business, but we also have to protect our partners.
100%.
And that's very important for us, because it's unfair for us to just send. I won't say God. I mean, I don't even want to say the word, but just negative, like accounts that we know are not good, and people who are not taking care of the road, people who are not taking care of their units, who could definitely kill somebody out there. If we as agents, borderline underwriters, are seeing this, it's kind of messed up for us to send it to our partners, and then they pay $15,000 on a quote for the year, and 3 weeks later they have $1 million claim. Yeah. So those are things that I'm noticing.
Yeah, we got to protect the insurance companies, because there's only so many.
Yeah.
And if this business ever becomes so bad that insurance companies, kind of like homeowners in Florida, that the government has to take over the insurance, that's like where it's going to get really bad. That's where it's going to get really expensive. So anybody living in Florida, you understand that there's only Citizens out there, right? And Citizens isn't cheap. And that's government insurance, because no private insurance company wants to write homeowners in Florida, right?
Yeah.
So that's going back to like Truckers Cloud that I was telling you. That's like new technology, and eventually technology is going to catch up. I mean, even implementing ELDs had a huge, profound effect on crashes, on fatalities, on loss ratios, because people are now being monitored on how many hours they're driving on the road, right? Which is super good.
Or even how many times they brake.
With the telematics. That's
Like Coverwell, for example. Coverwell is like, Coverwell will cancel you if they see that you're braking too much on your truck. A lot of people don't know that.
Are braking hard, right?
Or braking too hard, yeah.
Yeah.
But the frequency of the braking is definitely getting you canceled. And I get a lot of clients from Cabo. Like, bro, they're saying it's because I was braking too much. I was braking too hard. And I'm like, yeah, they will do that to you.
Yeah, that's good because
For sure.
eventually with this data, it'll be able to drive insurance costs as a whole down, right?
Yeah.
And freight is up right now. So freight is being paid, pretty decent. So if freight is up and insurance goes down, then this will become a very profitable business again.
Yeah.
I've spoken to a lot of truckers who are like, oh, I used to make so much money in trucking and I left because I wasn't making as much money. Well, a lot of people are scared with all these changes, but I will tell you that we are, from all the information and all the research I do is a trajectory for this industry to start making a lot of money again.
Yeah.
And it has to do with, again, freight going up, technology catching up to the industry, understanding risks, and being able to drive prices down. And again, I want to mention Trucker Cloud. What's cool about Trucker Cloud? A lot of insurance companies are asking for this. Your ELD needs to be hooked up to Trucker Cloud as one of the requirements. What does Trucker Cloud do? Trucker Cloud is a direct integration to your ELD. It tells them where you're hauling loads, how many miles you're running, and how many trucks you have, right? Again, unless it's an owner-operator operation, but if it's somebody that owns their own trucks, it's gonna know how many trucks you have, right? So those are like little tools that they're using. And bro, just to bring up another tool, just because we're on this subject, I went to the MCIEF, which is the trucking insurance convention, just this past year, and there was a guy there who used to work for the CIA, and he came up with this technology that it's kind of like cab, and it tracks trucks, but it tracks them with an AI camera. So these cameras are set along all the major highways, and there's like a lot of public and private lands, and he'll buy like a little portion of your land, set up a camera, and that camera is integrated with their artificial intelligence that they have, and it reads DOT numbers, it reads license plates.
That's scary.
Yeah, so like,
Is this guy big already?
I mean, he's gonna be big, and like that's like the next big thing.
You know him?
Yeah, no, I didn't meet him, but I met the people from
company.
his company. Yeah,
That
And
sounds crazy.
And I met the agent from California that's like working hand in hand and like testing his product. But this guy used to be in the CIA or the FBI, one of those, and his job before was like tracking criminals, pedophiles, murderers through camera and like identifying them and finding who they were in real life. So he used that same knowledge to track trucks and track license plate numbers. And like, dude, I'm telling you, it's gonna be very, very hard to trick the system.
So in other words, do the right thing from the beginning. And I always say that every single one of my clients that has done the right thing, as far as like, I have 5 trucks, I'm gonna put the 5 trucks on the policy. I see those companies grow.
Yeah.
Every single time I see a client who tries to play the system, they end up going out of business. It's kind of like a no-brainer. It happens all the time, and it's just something that like you should definitely always try to do the right thing, because it's gonna help you. People are gonna want to help you. Myself, I'm gonna see, hey man, this guy's been doing the right thing. He hired the wrong driver and he got a couple wrong violations, but it was because he hired the wrong drivers. It wasn't because the owner itself wasn't doing he wasn't doing the wrong thing. It happens. We understand that. Like you talk to a guy, the guy seems cool, and you made a mistake by not running his MVR yourself. You added, we're like, this guy has 1 speeding ticket, 15 miles above. We'll add him. We'll tell you, this guy has speeding tickets. You sure you want to add him? Yes? Okay, cool. Just be careful, because this guy could get you violations. I see you've been clean this whole time for the past 2-3 years. You add him, now you get violations. That, going back to what we were talking initially, might cause a spike. But we have so many markets in Southwestern that we could play around, send it to different markets and say, hey, listen, this guy, and we'll vouch for you. This guy has been really good. If you notice, it was this one driver. Can you please at least keep the rate the same, or see what we could do? But one thing to keep in mind is that like you have to be the CEO of your company. And I think one mistake that a lot of truckers do is they want to be the CEO, the driver, the CFO, the COO. They want to pick up the loads themselves and everything. And once you start growing, it's good to start segmenting and like going in different avenues and becoming the CEO of your company, where you're able to say, hey man, why you got that violation? You gotta go. Or reprimand that driver, because a lot of the times what happens is that driver, what's he gonna do? He gets fired, he leaves, but he leaves you with the problem in the DOT.
It's on their score.
Yeah, your score is messed up because of this one person that you didn't know. And a lot of times I get those desperate calls. Man, I need to add this driver right now. Come on, man. And I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna add this driver. This driver is gonna mess up your company. Look at the MVR. You want to add this guy? This guy had a DUI 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I mentioned that on the first podcast that we did, which is you have to be careful. People complain about rates. There's a clear line to follow for your rates not to go up, and that's to take care of your trucks, make sure the drivers are legit. I always tell them, hey man, if you hire a 23-year-old, most likely you're gonna have an issue. We see it all the time. There's a lot of responsible 23-year-olds. If you hire a 65-year-old, then you're dealing with the health situation, you know? So I always say, if you could find a 40-year-old with a family, they're gonna be so careful, they're gonna appreciate their job that most likely you're gonna have that driver for years and you're not gonna have any violations and you're gonna be good. Sure. And we've been, I don't know how many clients there are here, thousands and thousands and thousands of clients in Southwestern. We see the trends. We see where something could go wrong. We're doing this podcast to kind of educate people on that, on how to protect your company from future violations, from insurance spiking up, because it's spiking up regardless in the industry, but there's things that you could do to protect yourself from that happening.
I mean, I know it's hard to find drivers. Like, you know this, like, we get calls all the time like, come on man, I need to take this driver because there's barely any drivers out there. It's hard to find drivers. But dude, if you take this guy, he could make your insurance go up in the future. Yeah, you're gonna be able to book that load, but what is that load worth to you? Is it worth you having to pay all this money next year? Is it worth the guy quitting on you in a week and then you have to wait 60 to 90 days to get your money back? Right? That's a huge thing. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, yo, if you are going to hire an owner operator, that better be your boy, that better be your friend, because if that guy leaves in a week, you're on the hook for not only the down payment, but he's gonna have to pay the monthly payment for the next 60 to 90 days.
Yeah, until it comes off.
Until the insurance company sends the money back.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna pay extra for those 60 to 90 days, but you know, cash flow is king in this industry. And having all that money tied up, although you're gonna get it back, right? It's not like you're paying for nothing. Bro, it's like detrimental. What if your tire pops? Bro, these tires are like $300. Gas, you know, anything.
One thing I do want to mention, which is a very common mistake, I've probably had like 5 or 6 of my drivers do this. They'll call me and they're like, hey Will, man, my truck broke down and I just wanted to let you know that I'm in a different truck.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
And I'm like, bro, you have to let me know anything that goes on the road. I'm your lifeline when it comes to this. Sure enough, the next day I get an unreported unit situation. And I'm trying to talk to the underwriters because we don't want to lose accounts.
No.
But at the same time, going back to protecting the company, I'm like in the middle of this trying to see if this guy is really being genuine and he wasn't running unreported units.
Yeah.
And he really had a situation, or, you know, I have to kind of like call the underwriter and be like, hey, listen, he had the situation. His truck broke down and he called his boy to come pick it up, and then they have to submit a whole day. It becomes a whole thing. Rather than just doing that, call your agent. Tell him, my truck broke down. I'm calling my friend. He's coming to help me finish this load. I just want to let you know. That will save you a lot of headaches, because the worst thing that could happen is you get something to hit your FMCSA with a pending cancellation because you have an unreported unit. And we understand this happens. It's normal.
Happens all the time. Oh, I didn't know I had to say that.
Yeah.
It was just for a day. It was just for a week.
It was just for this load.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
The insurance companies are constantly
It doesn't matter. You have to let us know. You have to let us know. Why? Because if that guy kills somebody, there is going to be a lawsuit. And if that unit is not in the policy, there is going to be issues. There is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So the best thing that you could do, and we're saying this as like, look at us as your friend, like telling you so that you don't make this mistake. Call your agent and tell him, please, I have this situation. Can you please add this unit? Yeah. And that's it. And you eliminate yourself from losing your policy, having a gap, having to come up with another down payment. It just becomes a whole headache. We don't want to deal with it. We have to pay back commissions because now we cancel that policy, and then maybe we can even find another policy. There's a lot of guys that are just on their last lifeline because they didn't pay their finance company. So now they found an approval. The finance company doesn't want to work with you either.
Yeah. And there's not that many people that are willing to finance truckers.
Risk. Yeah. There's probably like 3-4 companies that are willing to finance truckers. That's another thing too. Like a lot of guys, they're like, hey man, I got a good rate for you, but now I don't have a finance company to place you in. Now you have to come out of pocket the whole $20,000. You know, so there's a lot of different things that you could do to protect yourself from insurance spikes, from getting cancellations. And this is the one thing I always tell my clients: become the CEO of your company. In the beginning, you are everything to it, but become the CEO. And that usually happens by year 2, where you're able to add another trucker, and then your spouse is helping you with the day-to-day operations, and then eventually by year 3, I see a lot of my truckers, they remove themselves and they add a responsible driver.
And responsible growth is super important in this industry too, because I have a lot of guys come to me like, oh, I'm a new venture, but I plan on putting 5 trucks next month. No, that's not gonna happen. That's called rapid growth, right? And an underwriter will look at that on a case-by-case basis. So let's say you've been managing an 100 truck fleet for the past 20 years. And you say, you know what? I don't wanna work for these people anymore. I've been managing all these trucks on my own. I wanna start my own trucking company. With the proper resume, I could present that to the underwriters and say, hey, look, he's starting off with 1 truck. Next week, he's gonna put on maybe 2, 3 more trucks. And the reason why he's adding all these trucks is because he used to manage a large fleet. He has the experience on how to manage a large fleet, and all these guys coming are from the large fleet that he used to manage. Now, they might ask me details on that other fleet. They might ask me for the loss runs of that other fleet. What is the correlation between these 2 entities? How do they mix? Do they mix drivers? Do they mix trucks? All those questions are going to be asked, right?
The story needs to make sense.
It needs to make sense 100%. Not that we can't do it, but I do have people that have never, ever managed a trucking company before. And look, I'll tell you this one guy. So I used to have this guy, he was a barber, and one of his clients told him that there was money in trucking. So what did he do? With his haircut money, he bought a truck, he opened up a trucking company. His father-in-law was a trucker in Brazil, didn't have any experience in the United States. We had to put him with Prime. And this guy from the beginning was like, yo, I'm gonna put 5, 6 trucks by the end of the year, because Prime doesn't have an issue with growth. And I'm like, all right, dude, look, Prime doesn't have an issue with growth, right? They don't have an issue with CDL experience. They don't have an issue with a lot of things, but you're gonna pay a lot of money. No, it's cool. I'm willing to do the investment. I'm like, okay, I got that. But dude, you've been a barber for the last 10 years. I'm telling you, if you don't know what you're doing in this industry, you're gonna get burned. 100%. My dad has been selling truck insurance for the past 40 years. One time somebody convinced him to open a trucking company, bro, it lasted maybe a month.
Why?
Because the thing is that if you don't know what you're doing, and if you're not 100% involved in the operation,
you're right.
It's gonna go bad for you. Yeah. Right? And
your dad was probably like, I'm gonna put money up and then it's gonna run.
But my dad's super busy. My dad runs these insurance agencies, right? He didn't have time for it. And then he tried to hire a dispatcher, he tried to hire a manager, and like everybody in this industry knows that the people that you hire, if you're not watching them, they're gonna take a little bit of money here, take a little bit of money there, and that adds up, and then it becomes a non-profitable business anymore, right? So I say this because I want you to be successful in this industry. If you are starting off, if you don't have any knowledge in trucking, we can help you. We can guide you down the path.
For sure.
Because we want you to grow. We want you, like Will's responsible guys, that in year 2, 3, they're removing themselves from the operation, they're hiring owner operators, or they're hiring actual company drivers, right? That's the best case scenario, because you can control them and you have a little bit more control. An owner operator, like we were talking about, he's a gun for hire. He's with you one day, he could be with someone else the next day.
And in his head, he's like a boss. So he's like, I could do this on my own. So
exactly,
you'll add him on the policy, and then 2 weeks later, he's like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to give you the 15%. Or I don't want to give you the 10%. I'm going to do this on my own. And he leaves you burnt with a couple violations at that. That's the problem.
Then you got to restart. You got to start over.
Restart over. Yeah. And then that creates another problem, because then you call us and you run everything, and then they're going to say, what happened with that other company?
Yeah.
And then it follows you no matter what. That's the issue. So what we're trying to say is try to do the right thing all of the time. And that is like pretty much the only thing that's gonna save you in this industry. Yeah. Because eventually you might get away with a couple things. I have a lot of guys who've gotten away with a lot of things, but until that one situation that literally shuts the whole business down. And I've been in situations like that where I'm not even gonna mention the name of that company, but
probably best.
I was gonna say the name, but I'm not. There was literally, he had like 6 trucks, and then 2 months later, he had a situation where he had to shut the whole thing down. Yeah. And that happens all the time, but it's because they are not the CEO of their company. They're driving, they're stressed, they're dealing with so many different things that by the time they realize that there's an issue here, it's already too late. So one of the best ways to keep your prices down is be careful who you hire. Yes, we run the MVR for you, and what we say is try to listen to our suggestion, because I've had situations with, I had a guy who was like, you don't want to make more money?
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, no, it's not even about that. We want to make sure that we're writing the right account, that we're adding the right people. And no, I don't want to add this driver in this truck because this driver has a crazy history. He's gonna mess you up.
Yeah.
And the right client, they'll thank us and they'll be like, damn, bro, thank you. Because other agents will be like, yeah, more commission for me.
Yeah.
It's not about that for us. It's about making sure that we write the right people, we place them in the right company, and you grow and you make a lot of money, and we keep doing business for 10, 15 years. That's the goal.
Yeah, we're in it for the long run, 100%. And we want to guide you and we want to see you grow. Now I have, one of my boys, he hit me up. He's like, hey, I want to get into trucking. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to put you with Wesco. Why are you going to put me with Wesco? Because Wesco limits you to one truck the first year. He said, damn, dog, I'm trying to grow this business. How are you going to put me with an insurance company that limits you to one truck? I'm like, because I know you and I want you to be profitable in this business. I want you to be able to grow. I want you to have a good experience. And I know for a fact, because you are not a truck driver, you are not a dispatcher, you are not any of these things, that if you don't take it easy, you're going to get burned. And guess what? My boy has 18 trucks now. I've insured him for the last 4 years.
Wow.
He's
no longer with Wesco.
No longer with Wesco. He has an exclusive contract with Amazon. He has 18 trucks. All his trucks are owned. All of his drivers are employee drivers. And like, he thanks me till this day. Like, and he's like ride or die with me. Obviously he's my friend, but he's like, bro, whatever you tell me, I'm gonna listen to you. Yeah. Because I know for a fact that if I would have started adding trucks too soon, I would have been toast.
Yeah.
Even with company drivers, they'll burn him because, it's very hard to track these drivers. If they get a violation somewhere or an accident somewhere or something, if they're not properly vetted, if you don't trust this guy, if he's not loyal to you, he's not gonna tell you about that accident. He's not gonna tell you about that violation.
Yeah, that's something that's happening a lot, man. Yeah. And it's scary. I had one of my guys, he working on his renewal this week.
Yeah.
And the underwriter is like, what happened on 1/26/2025? What happened with this claim? It was never reported to the insurance. I asked him, and I'm like, hey, bro, what happened with this claim? He's like, nah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, are you sure you wanna talk to your driver? He calls his driver, and his driver's like, I talked to the guy in the street. He said it was cool. I'm like, bro, and they started arguing with each other, and I was like, you guys handle that. Get back to me whenever but you have to be careful who you add. Mm-hmm. It's like inviting somebody to your house. You have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just open your house to just anybody. This is your business. This is how you feed your family. This is how you make your money. Take care of it. You have to take care of it.
Without a doubt.
If you don't take care of it, that person is literally gonna burn you. He's gonna leave, and most likely he's gonna become a competitor because he's gonna pick up loads.
Yeah.
He's gonna open up his own DOT and everything.
I've had so many people like lease themselves onto somebody because with Amazon you need at least 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. So they'll lease themselves onto somebody. They'll work with that person with Amazon for a couple months, and then the 6-month mark comes.
Oh.
And they're out.
And they won't even tell the person.
No, they won't tell you. They'll just not show up.
Yeah,
right? They have no obligation to you.
Yeah.
And then you need a lease termination to take that truck off your policy.
And you can even find the person to sign it for you.
Exactly. So always have a lease ready. That's another rookie mistake, is that if you're gonna bring on an owner operator, make him sign a lease agreement. Like, it's gonna protect you, especially if this guy is taking his truck to the yard, not on dispatch. That's what bobtail insurance is for, right? And a lot of people don't understand bobtail very well. And I'll kind of give you guys an explanation of what bobtail covers. Non-trucking liability is also bobtail. It's the same thing. So if this truck driver is hauling for Hoonigan Freight, right? He delivers the load, he comes back to his home in Miami, and he wants to drive his truck to the shop. He's no longer under dispatch. The sticker on the side of his truck is gonna say Hoonigan Freight. He's gonna crash into somebody. That person is gonna report it to the insurance. They're gonna hit Hoonigan Freight. The insurance company is gonna look at it and say, hey, this guy wasn't under dispatch. We're not gonna pay for this. He needs to pay for that. And that guy goes, well, I thought that's what leasing myself onto your company was for. You're gonna handle my insurance. Yeah, I'll handle your insurance
when you're working.
When you're working, that's what non-trucking liability and bobtail insurance is for. And if you don't obligate your owner operators to get bobtail and non-trucking liability, that claim could fall on your company. You could see a spike in your insurance the next year because of that claim. And that could have all been avoided if you had a lease agreement with this owner operator, and if this owner operator took out bobtail and non-trucking liability. So that's a huge rookie mistake. A lot of people don't do that.
overall, what we do here in Southwestern is, and everybody, especially the new agents that are coming along, they're trained to educate anybody who's coming on board, especially if you're a new business. I started working here years ago, and I realized a lot of people get into this industry and they don't know nothing. They don't know nothing about the industry. So a lot of our agents, we train them to educate people, to tell them, do you know what physical damage is? Do you know what auto liability is? They call, like, what's the most common thing that happens? Hey, man.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're going to say.
I told you I needed general liability. And I'm like, you didn't tell me you needed general liability. You said auto liability. Be like, what's the difference?
Yeah, or my favorite, oh, bro, I crashed my truck into a wall. You know, why the insurance company doesn't want to pay to fix it? I'm like, bro, that's physical damage.
That's physical damage and you never requested it.
Yeah. You never asked me for physical damage. I asked you, do you want physical damage? You said no, right? And a lot of the times, you know, we have to, as agents, take the extra step. And again, like, we don't want to sound pushy. We don't want to sound like we're selling you something that you don't need. We just want to make sure that you understand that if you don't buy physical damage and you crash your truck into the wall, the insurance company is not going to pay to fix that. The insurance company on the liability is going to pay to fix the wall, but not to fix your truck.
Or like, people will call me and they'll say, hey, you know, I have a semi and I want to work with Amazon. And I'm like, okay, you need trailer interchange. No, I don't need that. Bro, do you have a trailer? No, you need trailer interchange. There's no way around it. And people would think that we're just trying to upsell them or anything. It's just, and then what ends up happening, I let it be. All right, I'll give you whatever you need.
Yeah, of course.
3-4 days later, I need trailer interchange. Why? Because we know exactly what you need based on the contracts that you have. You go with Amazon and you're a semi, you're gonna need auto liability, general liability, cargo, and trailer interchange if you don't have your own trailer. Physical damage, that's on you. You know, another thing, no, we do not fix if your motor goes down.
Yeah,
that's another thing. So like if any damages that, like, any mechanical issues with your truck, we do not cover. We simply cover.
Well, physical damage doesn't cover.
No, not even physical damage, but a lot. I had a guy who got pissed off at me because he's like, oh, my engine blew. Where can I submit a claim? And I'm like, we don't cover that.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, what did you sell me? And I'm like, dude, like, seriously?
That's a warranty issue.
Yeah, exactly. So like you literally just got this truck like 3 months ago, and you already, like, go back to the dealership and try to see how they can help you. Yeah. So those are things that we try to educate people, we try to help people, and then by year 2, usually it's smooth sailing with a client because they understand it. They've learned the industry, not even just from us, but going out there and dealing with issues and handling and dealing with drivers and dispatchers requesting additional insurance sometimes that you don't even need. I'll ask them, like, hey, ask your dispatcher if you really need that, man. Yeah. Or I'll get the common call, hey, it's only for this one load. Do you have only for this one load? No. If I tell the underwriter, hey, I need a cargo just for this one load, they're not gonna write it.
Yeah, no.
You know, they write it for the year.
6-month policies. I get that question a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, can I do a 6-month policy? There's very, very little insurance companies that offer it. Maybe Progressive.
Geico. Progressive doesn't offer it.
In certain states.
In certain states?
Think, yeah.
Okay. But Geico, I know they do it. But the funny thing with Geico is, I had a situation like that. Guy, he wanted for a year. He's like, all right, what about 6 months? I was like, yeah. The down payment was the same, though.
Yeah.
The monthly payment changed because it's less, but the down payment is the same. The guy was trying to figure out a lower down payment. But that's just how Geico does business. And we can't control that either. Sometimes the insurance company sends us that information, the underwriter sends us whatever it is, and it is what it is. We don't control that. This is a very regulated industry, you know? So those are some of the things that we want to kind of speak upon in this podcast, kind of touch upon.
And then the next podcast, we have a couple things coming up. So the next podcast is going to be really good because I was telling you, Will, that another huge thing going on in our industry is the English. So a lot of people are worried about that, right? A lot of people are leaving the trucking industry because they don't feel comfortable with their English. I have a friend who, on the next podcast, we will go over the list, a couple of the things, who has the actual questions that the DOT officer is asking you when he pulls you over.
That's huge.
To test your English.
That's
right?
huge.
I could tell you off the bat what we know. We know a couple things. They're going to ask you the regular questions, right? Like, when did you start your day? How long have you been driving for? what are you hauling, those type of basic questions. And from there, they're gonna kind of gauge your English. And if they think that you speak adequate English with those basic questions, they'll most likely leave you alone. But you know, myself, I'm a Cuban immigrant. You are a Dominican immigrant. Our parents don't speak the best English. A lot of our clients don't speak the best English. They could take it to the next step. And the next step is that they start asking you questions about signs, right? They'll show you a no U-turn sign. They'll show you, you know, a roadwork sign that says keep to the left lane, and they'll ask you, what does this mean?
That's for the next podcast.
Yeah. So we're not gonna get too deep into it, but we're gonna have all the questions that the DOT
the actual
officer,
questions.
Yeah. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We're also gonna talk about a giveaway. We're having a huge giveaway. It's gonna be super dope.
That one's gonna be dope.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a huge giveaway. We're also gonna keep that one for the next podcast, so you guys have to stay tuned. And yeah, that's about it.
And subscribe and make
Yeah.
sure you let your trucker friends know about this channel, because we're doing this. We're gonna try to do this on a weekly basis where we're uploading videos so that we could keep educating, keep like any questions that you may have, literally come to this channel and you will find a video specifically for that. We're doing a bunch of reels as well as that. So just share, subscribe, and
Like everything.
all of that.
Click the buttons below. Bye guys.